Yo, in this sit down, I promise to stand on everything that I say as law. Let's get into it.
Come and sit down, you gotta stand on it. If it's for certain, let's have around, you gotta stand on it. Open the curtain, it's going down, you gotta stand on it. Cause I put my stamp on it, so you gotta stand. You gotta stand on it. 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 You gotta stand.
Yeah. Everyone please be seated. No need to have a standing applause. Okay, I want to bring it back. We appreciate it. You're too kind. This is your boy Truth. We back in the building again. Hopefully everybody had a great week since the last episode dropped last week. I apologize that the episode was a little bit late, but it was the holiday. We had other things going on. I'm sure you had other things going on too. Y'all weren't really checking in, listening, but hopefully you enjoyed the last episode. Shout out my guy Nico Smoke, as we talked about that feminine masculinity and masculine femininity. So got some feedback on that. A couple people want to follow up on it, so we can sit down and talk about it. As y'all can see, if you watching the YouTube, I got a guest tonight. Let me give her flowers. This is one of the hardest, not the hardest, this the hardest female artist I know. It used to be until I met her. I thought the hardest female rapper that I knew was this girl named Amina from Lawrence. R.I.P. to Amina. But, yo, she's sick with it. She'll run circles around most of you niggas, if not all you niggas. You know what I'm saying? And she happens to be my lady.
Ooh,
yeah.
Big
So
Daddy.
we sitting here, we gonna have some good time because we go bring y'all into the conversations that we have on the regular. So, you know, we like to have fun and cut up, and it'll be a lot of that y'all see on social media, but hey, we be talking about some real life situations and some real life information. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to Victoria Rose. How you feeling tonight, baby?
Great.
You good?
Yes.
Okay, I like you.
Great.
Okay, seems like I ain't seen you forever.
I just seen you last night.
Just, ooh, keep that low. Go do something to these folks.
Yes.
Hey, so we go hop right into this thing. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot that we want to get each other's opinion on. And again, a lot of these are conversations that we already done had. So what we gonna start out with is Unpopular Fact.
We can only really be happy, truly happy, when we live in total integrity with ourselves, when we're really open and honest and transparent. And this is because we human beings need the truth like we need food, and we are starving for the truth.
Starving for the truth, and it's my job, and I've taken on the role to make sure you get it. So Unpopular Fact tonight. So I had posted something on Facebook. It got flagged, which I already knew it was going to get flagged when I posted it up. I put, pay attention to how everything has unfolded. First, we had the pandemic. That was the fear of the unknown. Then we were quarantined for a couple of weeks. That was the fear of the now. Then everybody was encouraged to go buy guns. That was fear of the future. Then, lowered the gun laws, fear of each other. Then, get vaccinated, fear of death. Then, if you don't get vaccinated, you got a fear of not being able to feed your family. So again, fear of the unknown. Common word, common theme, fear. So I wanted to talk about that as we open up tonight on the Unpopular Fact, because if you don't understand what's going on from a media aspect, the media is making everything so we control people with that one word, fear. And if you look at fear, fear is something that we put in our own mind. Because if we think about it, and I got a clip that I'm going to share with y'all, but if you think about it, fear is not something, the things that we really think about happening, the odds of them really happening, they never really happen. Let me play this clip for you on fear. Hold on.
So, when you're not in fear, just stay like that. Because to create fear, you have to use excessive imagination. To not be in fear, you don't have to do anything. Fear is happening because of excessive imagination, things that have not happened, you're creating. What may happen in your mind happens in 1,000 different formats, and most probably it never happens. The things that you feared, take 100 things that you have feared, probably 99 of them never happened, isn't it? Yes. So your fear is always about that which does not exist. You cannot fight or you cannot overcome that which does not exist.
You cannot overcome that which does not exist, from the very wise man Sadhguru. If you don't listen to him or you haven't listened to him, go listen to some of his work on how he talk about different subjects. So when I listen to that, I'm like, you know what? That make all the sense in the world. Cause a lot of the things that we think go happen, they don't ever happen. Like, it's just put out there for us to be fearful. And the media has done such a great job of it because people are just scrambling. Like, if they tell them, oh, you go lose their job, if they don't get vaccinated, guess what they do? Immediately go and get vaccinated. They don't think it through because they put that fear in them, and now it's a pressure situation. So, what you think about fear?
Fear limits everything in your life. If you're scared to go outside of the box, then you're always going to stay in this box, which is control. And when you have control from the government and the most powerful people, because they don't want you to be on the level they on. So they want you to stay in this box. So if they put fear in you, you're going to stay in that box where you can't succeed or stray away. So yeah, fear is something you build up with yourself, but you have to overcome it because 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna happen.
9 times out of 10, you're absolutely right.
Unless you keep thinking about it, and then you create this ulterior, or you create this idea which comes to pass, which comes to where you at. And once you create that, then that's your life.
Right. So let me ask you this, because like, okay, a Bible thumper.
A Bible thumper.
A Bible thumper told me, we had this conversation today, actually. So this Bible thumper told me that what the Bible says, fear God.
But why should you fear God when it says not to? Fear no man, fear no evil, fear nothing. So why would you fear God if this man's supposed to be this holy God that you praise? He said not to praise him.
Right.
Or why would you fear him?
Yeah. But what I told him is clear. Like, you have people who read and then you have people who understand. He reads the Bible, but he don't understand the Bible.
So what's your understanding of that word, fear God?
Fear God. I told him it references a reverential fear. So when you have a reverential fear for someone, it's you in awe of that person. You know what I mean? It's like you're in awe, or like you don't want to do anything displeasing. That's reverential. So it'll be a reverential fear. That's how I interpret that. Because it's God. It's not, oh, you got to be scared of God. But a lot of people interpret it that way, like, oh, you got to be scared of God because he can send you to hell, he could do this and that. But no, it should be like a reverential fear to where you're in such awe of, and it don't even have to be God. It could be whatever you believe in, a higher power.
Not to disappoint.
Yeah, not to disappoint. But the fear that we talking about, that the government is doing and that the media is doing, that's not a reverential fear.
It's control.
It's control. And the key word people miss out on when they come up with the vaccines and all of this, mandate. You know what I mean? They need to look up the Latin meaning of mandate. You know what I'm saying? And just look at the beginning of mandate, man. So you have a man just come in and tell you what to do, and he putting a date on it. That's not godly. Like, that's not godly at all. That's not a superhuman power. And like Sadhguru said, like, you create the fear in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was dope when I heard that, because I know I've been places and I'm like, man, I probably ain't got no reason to be here. Like, this probably gonna happen. But I'm not scared. I'm being alert. But again, it's putting that fear there. Hey. So, yeah, as far as that goes, don't pay attention to that media, you know, because they know the initiative they want to drive. They know the narrative they want to drive. Now they got out, there's a new strain of COVID. Please do your research on this, people.
I had seen something in it. It was like, it don't hit Australia. And it was like, how is that possible when nobody can get in Australia and nobody can leave? And they don't have, 98% of the population vaccinated? How is that possible?
Well, you know how it's possible. You know who can get in there and who can leave?
Who?
The vaccinated people.
Can they?
Yes. Those are the people who could travel in and out.
Not in Australia, not right now.
We can't. South America too, we can't. Nobody even looking at that or asking that question. So if these are the only people who can go in and out, they the carriers. That's what we've known since the pandemic started. Like, and since they started the vaccination, these people are the carriers.
Right.
That's got the vaccine. Now they're talking about the boosters that these people have went and got don't work against this new strain. So they got to get another shot.
Another shot?
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's crazy. And if you do your research, the symptoms of this new strain, and they talk about it's highly contagious. Yes, it is. Because unlike the other strands, they're saying that this one is airborne. So is the flu. So is the COVID.
Right.
They say the symptoms are minimal, and it's just like having a cold. But they don't show that on the media. They just show, oh, it's airborne, got to get another one, and then everybody immediately go into fear. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I was guilty of it. When the pandemic started, you couldn't find bullets nowhere. Everybody buying all the guns. And then people, again, like I say, you're not understanding. They lowered the gun laws for a reason.
Yeah.
All of this stuff is going hand in hand. You talking about population control. Look at this Roe versus Wade stuff, all this abortion stuff, man. We got to wake up and pay attention to what's around us. Because people are absolutely lost and oblivious to what's going on. And for you Bible thumpers, you know, I've thumped the Bible quite a few times. If you want to reference that scripture, go to Revelation 14:7. It says, fear God and give him glory. So if you're fearing God and give him glory, you're not scared, you're in awe. You give glory to something that you're in awe of. You don't give glory to something that you're afraid of. You're trying to get away from it. So if you think about it, that wouldn't even make sense to have a realistic fear of God. It would be a reverential fear, is what I told the Bible thumper. And, I mean, he agreed.
Well, it goes to, if you want to say that, and I'm going to spare off of it a little bit.
Okay.
They say my God is a vengeful God. So if you put those two together, being fear of God, that can be like, oh, I'm scared. I need to do what I'm told.
Yeah.
So.
But religion, they spearhead that to control The people. Like think about
I agree with you on that.
when you went to church in the past, right? Here and there. You set foot, you stepped in.
I have.
church.
They used to try to make me go, and I said, "This is the devil's place." No, I'm just
Right.
kidding. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You probably said that for real.
No, I
But
just
think about it. What they always say, you will go to hell.
if you don't go to church, and I just feel like everybody in there was hypocrites since the age of 7.
Absolutely.
So I couldn't. I couldn't get into it.
Absolutely. But that, like people now, you could walk out here right now and find somebody who will say they don't drink because they don't want to go to hell.
But
They
Jesus
don't
drank
curse.
wine.
Right. They don't curse. They don't want to go to hell.
Jesus damn you.
Yeah. But it's that fear. it's the fear that they like, oh, I want to go to heaven, so I'm not going to do this. Think about how they control the slaves. That's how religion came about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, controlling the slaves with that. So get fear out of your mind.
And stop watching the news.
Please stop watching the news.
That's all
Jesus Christ. The news is ridiculous. So, yeah, no fear. Like the white belt trucks used to say. You know that? They used to have that in the back of their window, them big mud trucks.
The
And they
country.
had their old lady sitting in the middle. They
So
be
you was from the
driving.
country.
Yeah, I'm from the country.
You know what's crazy is on our podcast Monday, I was talking about how it really wasn't a pandemic. and my co-host was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, it was planned." Oh, you're saying people didn't die? No, listen. No, yeah, it was over exaggerated. It was planned. The pandemic. No, I don't.
Plug your podcast too, baby. My bad.
Oh, make sure y'all tune in to Real Fantasy Podcast on I Say Podcast
Yeah.
Network. Yeah.
Check out Real Fantasy, real dope show. But so they said you said the pandemic was planned, and
And I was like, it really wasn't no pandemic because you think about it, like none of this registers to me because it don't make sense. So I'm not gonna play into it. I was living my best life.
you was.
I was living my motherfucking best, the time of my life. You hear me? But she, my sister was basically saying it's people who died of COVID, and I'm just like, no, they didn't die of COVID. It was just wrote on their death certificate it was COVID because that's what they had to do. She's like, I'm not. Y'all got to go watch it, but yeah.
And the people who, the analogy, I shared this with my brother. I was like, think about it like this, right? The majority of the people, I ain't gonna say the majority. I would say all of the people who died of COVID had a pre-existing condition. Right?
Absolutely.
So if I went into, let's say I had AIDS, and I went into the hospital with a cold and died, what they gonna say I died of?
COVID.
No, I have AIDS. I went into the hospital with a cold. The cold is what killed me, but my immune system is so low. What they gonna say I died of?
A cold.
No, AIDS.
Well,
gonna
not
say I
not,
died
not
of
in this
AIDS.
age, and not right now. They're gonna say you died of COVID.
Well, now,
Now.
but the analogy I'm saying, if I went before
What?
COVID
Okay,
came
yeah.
about, if I went, I got a cold.
Yeah,
They would say, "Oh, he died of AIDS."
yeah, because his immune system couldn't
my
fight out.
immune system. They're not gonna put it on a cold, but they put it on COVID when they had a pre-existing condition. It could have been difficulty from diabetes, extremely overweight, whatever. But like you say, it's easy to say COVID.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other things that come along with that, and we'll have to say that
Like
for another pod. Finance, follow the money. Yo,
Paper trail.
so we gonna get into some relationship talk. You know what I mean? We gonna get
I'm
into some
excited about this
relationship talk. We gonna get into a lot of different talk about a lot of different stuff. So some people say keep your relationship private because you don't want people all in your business. Don't be on social media with your relationship. What you think about that?
I am a firm believer of that, but I'm also a firm believer of expressing my love to the public. So it's like you can show pictures, but like putting your personal in-house business on Facebook, no. Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
I agree. with not sharing your in-house business. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm just gonna own how I used to be. Like, you keep your relationship. Here's my theory.
Let me hear this theory because I need to know.
People keep their relationships out of the eye of the public because they're sharing their privates in public. So just think about that. They know I'm out here, just out here. So I can't
But you gotta
pose this woman.
no.
Shit.
You think about this though, because you have a lot of cheating men and a lot of cheating women.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post my main thing and still go around and do what I'm gonna do.
Nah.
Absolutely.
I can't do that. I ain't with that.
I mean,
'Cause-
a lot of people do though.
and they suckerish. That's real suckerish.
But you know, like 98% of people that's cheating is gonna post a main chick on social media and still be out probably having intercourse with their friends.
I don't have no homeboys who be posting their girls on social media.
Because they probably
I'm
doing
not
what
getting
you're
into
saying.
that.
So let's clarify that. But you do have some that does that too. My thing is, I've been a private person when it comes to my personal life.
Right?
So that's why I don't put. That's why I didn't put like personal business. It had nothing to do with like sleeping around with someone else. It's just like, you know, females are crazy. And I'm a little off too. So
I might could understand it from a female standpoint.
it's like, oh, she messing with him. I don't like her. I'm gonna go talk to her man, and then it's this. But
I know, speaking from experience and personally, that's a lot of reason why I haven't done it in the past. Like, because I know I was moving
A
how I
little
shouldn't have been
shaky.
moving. Yeah, like you don't want to do stuff like that. And to your point, like you out here doing stuff like that, and you let those lines cross, you might have a woman who might just get out of pocket and be like, "Oh, that's his lady."
this
Okay,
is 22.
boom, right. I'm about to go. Yeah, so the main thing is just stay on the up and up. That's what.
So you didn't post your relationships because you knew what you were doing,
Yeah,
and you didn't want those paths to cross. No, that never crossed my mind because I'm not a cheater. I don't cheat if I'm in a relationship, so that never crossed my mind.
I mean, well, you have to speak. This is the Stand On It podcast, and I'm speaking from my standpoint, which that should make you feel good because I
Yeah.
post through a lot. You know
I
what
see it now. We here, baby.
Yeah,
We here, baby.
so you know, but hey, I was shady, so I was like, nah, I ain't posting it, cause I have had one homeboy who he hopped out there and posted some one time. I don't even know what he was thinking, cause I mean
But did he make it clear or what?
No, he put me and my beautiful queen, and then somebody hopped in his comments was like, "That ain't the girl I saw you with at the bar."
Oh,
You know what I mean? And then he immediately tried to take the post down. But I'm like, that's why you can't do that type stuff. Like, you gotta have clean hands when you playing like that. Like, because women are vindictive, and let's keep it all the way real. A lot of these men around here ain't told these women they dealing with that they got a man later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just part of it too. But yeah, so I saw somebody posted on Twitter. It said, if you meet a girl on Facebook, the relationship go down on Instagram. So basically what he was saying is like social media horrible on a relationship. Like, what you think? Just think about that.
It depends on what kind of foundation you have with that person. If you meet somebody on social media and well, no, because you know, like you meet somebody on social media, I'm pretty sure you done went through the page, see what they're about, and then you still pursue it, then yeah. But I don't think so. You got, I don't know.
Nah, man, I feel like, again, like you said, it come down to knowing the person you with. But I feel like social media has ruined a lot of relationships.
Why? Yeah, because of what the scenario you gave with that situation, yeah. Or social media when you put your personal, your in-house, or you have a dispute with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and they take it to social media, yeah.
Well, not even that. I feel that social media has got a lot of people to fall into temptation. I feel like social media has caused a lot of people to be deceptive.
What that aimed a little bit more towards men, because women, I have to put that out there, because women, they take a suit with their breast out or bathing suit, nice tummy, and doing it. That's a little bit more temptation with men.
Okay. So why are women doing this?
Because they like to.
What
Not
you
saying,
mean?
not
No,
saying,
what you
because
mean
it's
they
not
like
like
to?
you don't. Some women do it for the attention. Some women do it just because they like what they see in the mirror. So they
But
want to
these
show
same women
everybody.
who do that will be like, man, these men so thirsty. They just jumping in my inbox. What you think gonna happen when you posting stuff like this?
And that's where women should be like, nah, I ain't on that type. That's just leave it at that. I know what I'm posting, but it ain't for you. It's because I like it. And
So
I
you
want.
don't think that's sending the wrong message?
No, you just reading it wrong. Let me put it like that.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
How is that being read wrong? That's like the cover of the book say porn, and you open the book
And what if-
you expect
what if-
to read the Bible.
No.
It's porn.
If the front of the book says porn and you open that book and porn, every letter of that means something else in that book. You took the cover of the book and expected that you was going to see someone having sex or intercourse. And what if the book is talking about food for mind?
What
Porn
is
for
that?
mind.
What do you mean?
Knowledge.
Porn and knowledge is
I'm
not
just
the same.
saying, but think about it. You can't judge a book by its cover. You always heard that saying.
That's cliche, and
It's
you
not
can.
cliche. No, you can't.
Okay.
Take me for example. Before, and I have to get into this, before me and you got together, you had a lot of people saying things about me because of what they see. Nobody knew me because nobody was in my personal life. So they assumed. You can't judge a book by its cover because you don't know me, because I like to have fun. That's not, just because I like to have fun on Tuesday don't mean my Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday is the same. So that's what I'm saying. That's exactly the same thing.
But okay, maybe a little bit, not all together. Cause I'm looking at it like this. So when you say you can't judge a book by its cover, if I sit down and the title say the Bible, I expect to read spiritual things. If I sit down and the book says porn, I expected to see porn. When a woman presents herself, and I'm feeling biblical
Anything
now. I'm gonna
that
use a biblical term.
stimulates.
If a woman is scantily clad, you have a scantily clad woman, what do you expect do you be like, oh man, this woman is really spiritual, or this woman, sex sells.
I don't
so you're
assume,
selling the facade.
I don't assume for you to assume that she's spiritual or assume that she's a thought. That's something that you shouldn't assume.
I won't assume she's a thought, but I'm gonna assume
That you can slide in her DM and say, "Give me that."
Yeah,
Absolutely.
if I want
not.
to.
And then, no, it's not that type of party. Just
And then
because
I'ma
what
tell
you
her
see or
she
what you read, like
advertising. That's false advertising.
it's not. Like, you remember that video I sent to you the other day? I'm in love with myself, so
Yeah.
I want to bring my partner in to experience the love that I have for myself.
Right, Eartha Kitt. Yeah.
Yeah. So that goes to say, if I'm like, damn, I look good, this body looking nice, I just want to show it. I post it. Boom. I feel good about myself. Not saying that I want to go hump on everybody.
I'm not saying you wanna
If
go
I want
hump
you
on
to hump on me,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying other people who are looking on, like, I want to go hump on her. So I'm going to go shoot my shot to see if I can hump on her because of how she's dressed.
And that's your God-given right to do that. But you still can't judge a woman because she, posting a little picture.
Okay. So, let me ask you this, because this is a conversation we had the other night.
What?
Since you was talking about, like, this is more so for men, you made a statement the other night when we was talking that men are becoming pretty much useless.
Oh, yes. Okay, so yeah, I did make that statement. And it goes back to the golden times, as they say. Like, a woman needed a man. Women couldn't work. Women couldn't provide. Women couldn't do the jobs that men were doing at the time. So they needed shelter. They needed someone to provide for them. Now these days we have corporate jobs where women is making $250,000, making bank. We no longer have to tolerate what you got going on with Suzanne across the street, or Mary Beth, or Keisha. We don't have to tolerate your attitude. We don't have to tolerate the infidelity. We don't have to tolerate that. So now a man is not a need, it's a want. So if I don't want you around, I don't have to have you around because I'm making money for myself. I don't need you to provide for me because I got it. If I wanted to go buy a prostitute, I can to have intercourse. If I wanted to have a child, I can get it stimulated. I don't have to deal with the man no more. So y'all are no longer a need, y'all are a want.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate because I've told you that since the beginning of you knowing me. Like, my mama raised me and my brothers to where we wanted a woman. We didn't need her. Like, we know how to wash clothes, we know how to iron, we know how to cook, we know how to clean. All of that. Like, I don't need a woman for any of that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like what I want a woman for. I get what you're saying. Like, a man has become a want to a woman versus a need.
Because of the things that happened in the past. The disrespect, the infidelity, the feeling like you can do whatever you want to do and making setting a woman emotions aside. Now they don't have to deal with it.
But do you think it's because of what's happened in the past, or is it because the extra push on feminism
That was created by the white woman? Possibly. And with feminists, the movement, it kicked our black men out of homes. It made women become single mothers. And goes back to the episode that you had, making a woman fall into this masculine role. Absolutely. But it also set a tempo where we don't have to tolerate a lot of things that we did in the past. So if you're going to be in a relationship, it has to be a want and something equal, basically love. I have to love you. We have to care about each other enough to deal with each other, or not deal with each other to want each other. So if you got, back in the day when my grandma, she got pregnant when she was 13. She got married. Now I'm not getting pregnant at 13 because I know what I have to do and how my mama was raised and how I was raised coming up from a single mother. I don't have to deal with that. So, yeah, now your option.
But I still think, because I can relate, my mom and dad, I think my dad was 14, my mom was 12 or something like that, or maybe he was 15, she was 13, one of them when they got married. I still blame feminism.
No.
As to why, because think about this. Corporate America, right? They can, if you notice what's being done now, it's let's give women these, and don't be a black woman that they can put in these roles.
Before you take it there, because I kind of know where you're going. No, it was not feminism that did this.
Okay.
It was the government, which was a part of feminism, but a black man supposed to be our backbone, supposed to be our provider, supposed to be our world, supposed to be strong enough to protect us, but you didn't. If you want to take it there, you kind of allowed yourself to be free to do this to move on or not be there. So they gotta hold a little bit of accountability to that. You can't just blame it on feminism.
So let me ask you this: what's the number one reason most black men are in jail?
Drugs.
Right. Who put the drugs in the neighborhoods?
Ronald Reagan.
Right. The government, right?
Yeah.
So the government ran a scheme
Yeah.
to remove the black man from the home.
But
How
what-
did welfare come about?
the government.
Right. What was the purpose of that?
To separate, I get this, to separate the
separate.
black man from the black woman.
Right.
Which all intertwined with that act that you're throwing up. You can't blame feminism. You can't just blame it as
saying
one.
that, but
and
what I'm
just do
saying
it
is
like-
this. Women are saying, oh, men ain't responsible and they didn't do this. But men weren't trained to become drug dealers.
But women are, you do have some women that say that. But you got to think about the generation or the last generation. That's what it was. That's what it was. Men were out doing this, doing that. Multiple women not being home. So that's their experience.
But was a man supposed to have one woman?
You want me to go from my point of view or like just
I'm
in
saying,
general?
like, I know your point of view now. But
Do I feel like a man should have one woman?
yeah, was he supposed to? Not do you feel was he?
Or is a woman supposed to have one man though?
Yes,
Why do you say
she's
that?
the birth of life.
Exactly. So if I'm the birth of life
Mm-hmm.
and I can create this life, why wouldn't I create this life with multiple men to reproduce?
Because
And mass produce at that. Why not?
Because think about it. It takes you 9 months to produce a baby.
Exactly.
Right. A man could go hit this woman. He could have 5 or 6 kids on the way at one time.
And after that, another man can come around and hit this woman, hit this woman, hit this
But
woman.
it's a longer cycle. It was never intended for a woman to have multiple men. Like you mentioned, like white women started feminism.
Yeah.
White women started. They
Because-
did away with monogamy. You know what I'm saying?
And I agree on that.
Yeah.
Like I agree. Like I don't feel like, I'm all for polygamy and all that.
Right.
If it's the right thing, you gotta set your mindset to it.
Right.
I'm all for that. No, the feminists from the white women didn't start because of that. It started because they had no say so in the household, and then with the black community or the African American community or the indigenous women gave knowledge to the man, and the man went out and pursued it. The white woman wasn't able to do that within her home because she was told to be quiet, sit there, and be pretty. What you tell me the other day?
Sit in the car, be cute and hush.
Yeah, that was the role. They were there for them, and not in the black community. So they wanted that mainstream. I don't think white women cared if their men had multiple, because they did. They did.
Okay. So, to your point, you said men are not needed and wanted. Not needed now, they're more so wanted. I can agree with that.
Well, let's make it clear now. That don't go for me.
No, I can
Because
agree.
okay.
I agree. Men are wanted. Which men do play a part in transitioning now to where women want them versus need them, because I mean, again, like I'm gonna keep it real. It's a lot of men who not on this shit.
And it goes to, I think it's more if a man was honest and with his intention, women would respect that and deal with them in a different fashion.
Right.
Instead of trying to manipulate the situation. Like, you don't have to manipulate your woman like you're trying to manipulate the system. You don't have to fight against your woman like you're trying to fight against the cops. We're not here to knock you down or keep you held captive or not allow you to expand and spread your wings. So I think that has a lot to do with it too, where that's how black men view black women now.
How?
Like we're the cops. in a relationship.
Say that. Elaborate.
Like we're the
Elaborate
cops
on
in
that.
a relationship, so they
Investigating and
investigating, always down on their back. They feel like we complain too much, we too combative, we they just think that we just don't want to submit. That's not the case. Be honest, be open, communicate, and then it'll be a whole different thing. See, again, it goes to women in different cultures than our cultures, because if you think about it, black women, we are, and I'm gonna say this, we are guys within.
absolutely, I agree with that.
So we don't talk to our men like a lot of us. We don't talk to our men like we're trying to lead them astray. We just have that intuition trying to explain to them, listen. And it might comes off pretty rude, but you have the other cultures where women's supposed to be quiet, sit down and listen. So they run to that culture or run to a different race because they want to control that. And not saying that you can't control a black woman. It's not about control with black women. It's about understanding. And if you can understand and communicate with a black woman, it's yours.
So you say it's about understanding.
Yeah.
Here's my take on that, right? So you said a lot. It's a lot
did,
to
it's a
unpack.
mouthful.
So you said, I want to make sure I don't miss nothing. Women want to be it's about understanding. What else you say?
I mean, and it goes deeper than that. So you can't just pinpoint, like, because you are very literal.
Nah, I'm just trying to unpack what you said. You said
Understand
understanding.
that we're here to protect you, not to hold you back from what life is, your God-given right, or life is giving you.
So let me give you this. So I asked my cousin this, right? So it goes back to feminism and what's being pushed by the media. The city girls say, real ass bitch give a fuck about a nigga.
I don't fuck with them. I
know you don't.
I just,
But the masses do. Has nobody asked why these real ass bitches who give a fuck about a nigga, why they in relationships?
that is, because it's, and I don't
Why
have
they
this
got kids?
this conversation with you so many times.
Yeah,
It is entertainment.
absolutely.
That, and you have to think about it. Like, my kids know that's entertainment. Whatever you, that's entertainment. Cardi B, I don't cook, I don't clean. Let me tell you how I got this ring. And you see she cook and clean.
Right.
That's just entertainment.
Right.
So,
But people don't take that for what it is. And that pushes that feminism agenda. Like, I'm gonna give you another example. I was thinking about this today. Back in the day, you watch sports shows. It was all men talking about sports. Now they got to put a beautiful woman on there with these men, and the women are not just on there. They're leading the conversation. Why? They don't even know nothing about sports. They reading off a teleprompter. If you go and do the research on their background, they never played any sports, the majority of them. They never covered sports. They just an attractive body who's been put on TV
Because of
to
men.
emasculate men.
nope. It's
You don't
it's
think
not
so?
to emasculate men. It's for men to come over here and watch this beautiful woman and say, man, why she on this show? She look good, but why she on this show? That's going to attract you to come and look at the sports show to see what she's talking about. That's more views, more
Not
money
at
in
all.
the pocket. Absolutely.
But that go back to what I just said. You just answered what I said
What?
earlier. When you put on those type clothes, what kind of message you sending?
It's going to attract, yeah.
Right.
But just because I'm sending this message, and it goes back to what I said, just because I take a picture in this don't mean I want you to come and slide in my DM talking about, and don't mean that I have to accept.
What does it mean? That I'm just
You do
feeling
you
good
and I'm
today?
do me. You can look, but don't touch. Watch, don't grab. You know what I'm saying? Like, if me and you were out, you see a beautiful woman. I don't mind you looking at that woman at all, but don't go in and interact with her or engage with her. Oh, she's a beautiful woman. Yeah, she's gorgeous. She got a nice body. Yes, she do. I don't expect you to go over there and be like, hey, you're beautiful. You got a nice body. No.
What does she want to leave with us?
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
I had to try it. Let me ask you this then, segue. Why you think more women don't want to be married? I see that a lot. I ain't worried about getting married.
Again, and it goes back to women. I'm gonna be frank. I'm gonna be from my point of view and from the masses.
Okay.
Women don't want to get married because they don't want somebody telling them what to do when they don't know how to control the situation. So it goes to say, like, I don't need you. I want you. I don't need you. But what can you? How can you control this? How can you control the situation or guide me into a place where I need to be if you're not on the same level with me or higher? So the value that women has, how they value men now, what's the point? What is the point? You can't provide for me. You can't even be faithful. You can't even stop lying. Why would I want to get married to you?
But that's the caliber of men that they deal with. That's the
And then you
difference.
think about it too, the caliber of men that can do this, either have multiple women or married. They already taken. So what are we supposed to do with that?
So let me get my take. I feel like it's a defense mechanism.
To not get hurt.
Or a self-esteem mechanism. To say they want to put it out in the public, I don't want to get married, I want to get married. Because either nobody wants to marry them, or for real, like real spill, like I feel like a lot of women do this because there is not a man, like, and again, I've said this, like women, it's about how you are marketing yourself. Think about it. So if I would have met you, I met you in a recording studio. We was friends for a long time.
Right.
Before we ever crossed that line.
Absolutely.
So think about it like this. If I would have met you at a club or a bar, and this is just me speaking, my perception of you would have been different.
But think about it too. I never dealt with a dude that I done met from the club or the bar, so
I know you haven't, but I'm just saying, me personally, if I have any woman, it don't even have to be you, my perception would be different. If I met a woman in the club, I'd be like, oh, this is something I might could take home tonight. Never in my mind is marriage go cross my mind. And it's never go cross my mind, even, I don't care how much I like you. Because all I know is, oh, she be in the club. How many other niggas she done left with from the club? That for real, that's always gonna be in my mind.
But you think about the club is a social place that you're supposed to meet people at. So
It's
why
not.
do you? It absolutely
No.
is. What is the club?
No.
Why do people go to the club?
Come there, hear music, have a drink, go home.
It's a social environment where you meet people.
Social club, right? So social club is you being social with people. Being social,
It's a
social and
social
intimate are two different things.
Environment
Yeah.
where you meet people. So
Yeah.
if you meet this person, you now can go to a intimate environment where you can get to know this person. Not necessarily saying that go home and sleep with the person, no.
Yeah.
But if you get a number and you take her out on a date, then why not?
Again, I get it. I'm just telling you, like, for me personally, no. If
I met you in the club, you wouldn't talk to me?
yeah, I'll talk to you. But it never would. I don't know what you could do to change my perception of like, yeah, I can see long term with this. Cause if I met you, if we start off in the club, where we go end it? In the club. You still gonna be in the club.
Absolutely not. You can find that one chick that came out with her homegirls celebrating one night.
That's rare, and I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Somebody else told me that same statement when I was talking to them about it. It was like, what if she just in town, with her homegirls? Okay, cool. But also, she was in town with her homegirls at a club, but she fucked me the same night.
And what's wrong with having sex with someone the same night?
There's nothing wrong with it in the right setting.
Oh my God, that's just
In the right, it's got to be the right setting.
This is very contradicting.
How?
So it doesn't, because say if I'm we having a kickback, drinking music, and then that happens.
That's more acceptable.
Why? That's the same thing.
Now, a kickback. How many people be at a kickback? What qualifies a kickback?
A small gathering.
Yeah, small gathering. More intimate set. It's an intimate setting out the gate.
But what's the difference? She came in there and didn't know anyone.
Okay.
And she's drinking with music.
Yeah. She knows what she want out of lay. Yeah.
Well,
I can look at it. But then when you coming into a club, I might have seen you just over here grinding on this dude. This dude just bought you a shot. This dude over here looking at you like he already done hit you. Now you telling me
so it's
going
something that you
home
don't perceived in your mind that you assuming.
Before I make any move, I'm a watcher. I'm watching the room. So I'm like, okay. See, I see him looking. I'm putting it all together before, because I'm not going to make myself look like a fool.
Oh, you putting a scenario in your head that you made up.
No,
I get it.
I'm
because
right.
It goes back to say, don't allow yourself to believe in fear.
Yeah.
Why are you putting this scenario in your head that could possibly not be true?
That's not a fearful situation.
It's not, but it's the same concept though.
Yeah, because I told you the first time I met you and saw you, I was like, okay, but I didn't pursue you at that time.
Because you thought I was just a thought bucket that had like. I was sleeping on a mattress. You thought I didn't take care of my kids. And it's crazy to me because even being around me, like the loving persona that I have to help people, that's where we at. Why would somebody else do that about me? That's why I just didn't get like, are you serious? I wasn't raised that way, my guy.
Yeah, I mean, but again, it goes back to how women have portrayed themselves. Like, I will say, everything you said, everything you talk about in your music, you're 100 with it. Like, even on your podcast, like you say you can cook. Yeah, I'm like, man, because usually when a woman says she can cook, she made Alfredo and spaghetti.
No.
That's it.
No, that's not cooking.
That's not cooking, but most women like, I got a mean Alfredo. Like, come on, man.
Mm-mm. And then my Alfredo from scratch, so I need to get that stuff out the jar.
You are an excellent cook. You're an excellent mother. Like, I told you why, because I always thought you was out.
And
out the club.
I was out, but as you got to know me, you knew my situation about what I had went through in the previous relationship. So, but it wasn't like I was out. Like, I was out getting drunk and going home. I didn't want to be home by myself. And my kids would be at their grandma's or they'll want to go here. So I would get drunk and go home and go to bed.
I could respect. I mean, I know that now, but I expected an air mattress. You couldn't cook.
No, before I had it.
You have it together. I was pleasantly surprised.
You know.
Pleasantly surprised.
I just air mattress though.
Yeah, for sure.
Air mattress.
Air mattress. Waking me up in the middle of the night, hey, I need to blow the bed back up.
I would drive a 89 Toyota Corolla before I sleep on the air mattress within my doors of my home.
Dig it. And her first meal she made me was absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. That's what sold me on her. Like, she invited me over for dinner. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
I cooked salmon because he said that he didn't eat red meat, so I cooked salmon, shrimp, asparagus. And, yeah.
I was like, you cook this? I'm looking at it, I'm like, man.
And then take it. Let's talk about. Did you didn't even think that my house was my house?
Yeah, I didn't think it was your crib. I thought somebody had let you get it so you could cook for me. Like I just felt like you was in the hood.
That's weird as hell.
It was just a lot, cause that's usually how women are. They portray one thing and then it's like completely different. I've never met a woman who, I ain't gonna say never, with the exception of a few, but for the most part, they portray something that they either overhype their education, they'll overhype their sex, they'll overhype their food, everything be overhyped.
But
It just be overhyped, man. You know. But yeah.
I don't do that because I don't feel like it's necessary to do all that.
Right. So you heard it here first. When you hear her saying something, whether it's on her podcast and her music, it's legit. Like, I'm telling you, it's legit. It ain't no, yeah, ain't no cap on her side. It's legit. So yeah, that's why, yeah, I was wrong. My perception was off. But let me ask you this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, how you feel about soul ties?
Oh yeah, I believe in soul ties. My baby father, I was with him for years, and after the situation, I, experienced life, I guess you can say. Yeah, I'm not gonna say I was just like, but yeah, soul ties are for real. They are real because you have you can be messing with one person and this person is sleeping with multiple people, and you have multiple energies. You're sad, you're happy, you're angry, you're mad, and it's because of the soul ties that he done injected or intertwined with you. Yeah, soul ties are real. Absolutely.
So I like to say, somebody asked me how I feel about do I have any ill will towards any of my exes, and I'm like, no, like no matter.
No,
and
ill
when I say exes, these are people I claim, not nobody who's claiming me. It had to be a mutual claiming to be considered an ex.
Well, let's broaden the horizon. What about, do you have any ill will between somebody you done connected yourself to within soul ties?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But the point I was gonna make is, I feel like everybody served a purpose, right?
Absolutely.
And I like to say soul ties on the way to soul mates. You know what I mean? So you go through a lot and you go experience a lot till you get to that person. When you get to that person, you go know.
Everybody don't experience that though.
They don't.
No,
I hate
not
it for
in a
them.
lifetime.
I hate it. You know what I'm saying? They don't. It sucks. I didn't think I would. To keep it real, like I told you, I got one relationship left in me. And that's why I said, man, nah, man, I ain't, not no more. But then you gotta look at too. You're a very spiritual and energetic person. Like you got energy and spirituality. You was like that when I met you. I've developed it over, I would say, the last year where I'm really into that, and I have a more understanding, but. Zodiac signs, all of this stuff, that's real.
Yeah, absolutely. It speaks about it in the Bible if you want to break it down. And we don't have time to get into it, but it talks about that. It don't name them exactly, but it talks about it in the Bible.
A lot of people demonized it. You know what I mean? Like zodiac signs.
Which is crazy. It's crazy. Okay, what was the place that, was it David or Noah went to? He said he seen God. Who was it?
No, not Noah, Abraham.
Abraham. Well, where did he go?
Seen God's face when he seen the burning bush.
Where were he at?
On the mountaintop.
What did he call the place?
Dang. I forgot. I know what you're talking about.
What did he call it?
I can't remember.
I need you to remember it because I can't remember exactly. But it goes to say, and this is from spirituality. It goes to say that he were talking about when you're seeing, you're seeing through both eyes. When you close your eyes, you can see the light in the darkness, which is one eye. And it goes to say he went to his penal, the place where he's seen all this happening, which is the light. So it was saying that, and then the astronomy with the zodiac signs and all of that, it ties into it. It's how you read it or interpret it, like you said in the beginning.
I believe it because, yeah, like, soul ties are absolutely real. I've had instances where I'm like, why am I sad? Or, like, why am I mad? Or just anything. And it might be just somebody I was dealing with. You know what I mean? Just bad.
Because, you know, once you have sex with someone, you have an orgasm inside of them, your DNA is now transferred to that person. Right. And once your DNA is transferred to that person, your DNA is within them, which is connected to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Every person that you done had sex with unprotected has your DNA. Yeah. Whether y'all had a child or not.
Is that the only way to create a soul tie? Raw sex?
Absolutely. Because, yes, the penis is the heart, the vagina is the vessel. Okay. Once that connect, y'all have a soul tie. Now, if it's something over it, no. But yeah, every person that you don't have unprotected sex with, you have a soul tie with.
Yeah.
That's why back in the Bible it was saying that once you sleep with a woman, that's your wife. So every person that you don't sleep with unprotected is your wife.
Oh, hell no.
Absolutely. Multiple wives.
Yeah. Nah, I do agree though. Soul ties on the way to soulmates. If don't beat yourself up for whatever you've experienced. Look at it as a learning life lesson, especially when you find that one, because it's rare. And, like you said, a lot of people don't get to experience that in their lifetime. And I think, let me say this too. I think some people have it, but they weren't prepared for it when it came, so they missed out on it.
Yeah. I consider that a twin flame.
Elaborate.
Why? You can have a connection with the twin flame, and it's brought in your life to show you what you need to fix. Okay. 9 times out of 10, a twin flame is brought into your life to show you. It reflects what you need to fix, and it shows you what you need to fix. So if you learn from that, you'll be on your way to your soulmate.
I'm gonna have to look into that. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Check it out, baby.
So let's talk. I got two more things I want to talk about before we get out of here. The first thing I want to ask you about, me and you was talking about this. I said the worst thing that happened to black folks was integration.
I agree with you on that.
You agree with me on that. Why did you agree with me on that?
Because we integrated, we could have had our own infrastructure. We could have had our own Wall Street. We could have had our own revenue. We could have had our own land on the United States separated from them. Black people is the reason why the economy has been where it's at with the United States. If we would have stayed separated from that, we would have had our own. We wouldn't have to worry about the vaccination shot or the COVID shot or feminists or any of that. We should have just stayed within ourselves. We just wanted the rights to be able to be free on this land, not to share it with you guys. We should have kept it that way.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the worst things MLK ever did, man. Pursuing and again, like a lot of y'all gonna interpret what I'm saying as me being a racist. I am not at all. I have I'm not even gonna say I have a white friend. I have a lot of white friends that I would consider friends. I'm not being racist. And I even told one of my white friends this, and he was like, I never thought about it like that. As black people, we have the mentality that if it's not tied to white, it's not right.
Yeah.
We got that mentality. Oh, I could tell somebody something, and they might be like, oh, no, let the white man come tell them that.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
And then your master?
It's law. If the white man come and tell them the same thing, and think about it, like you said we could have had it. We did. A lot of us did have it
And
back then.
the white man destroyed it.
But a lot of black people too, we was talking about this too, they voted to remain slaves.
Oh, yeah, I seen that. But you have to think, too, in that situation, if you have children and this is what you taught and this is what you learn, like my kids, if I teach them, if you leave here, you will have nowhere to go. You won't have no food, no home. If you leave here, you're going to die. They are not going to want to go. So the ignorance of black people back in the day, because they couldn't read, they really couldn't understand what was going on because they couldn't interpret it.
Right.
They had to say what was safe for them, and that was what was safe. Oh, I never turned against my master because they thought that was right. I would never betray like a child was not going to betray their mother or their parents when they're a child until they're able to comprehend and understand themselves, which is learning in the world. Slaves didn't get that opportunity, so that's why they did it.
I don't think they trusted themselves because they were very innovative. The same way I said, if a lot of black people feel, if it ain't tied to white, it ain't right. Well, black people need to understand it came from black, and that's a fact.
Exactly.
That's a new thing they need to understand because, like, even stuff as simple as casseroles, black people made that stuff by eating the leftovers from that the slave master had. They started the cotton gin, but they wouldn't give my man the patent for it.
You know what's crazy is indigenous and black people started everything. We have been programmed where we don't even know our real history.
Right.
We have been watched to say, oh, we were brought here from Africa. No, we wasn't.
No,
we were not brought here from Africa. The slave ships were sent up to Spain, and slave ship, they wasn't brought to here. They wasn't brought. And everything that was created from the Moorish people. Moorish people was black because the Greek people couldn't say, they didn't have the word black. So Moors mean black.
Yep.
So
started from black.
I'm trying to figure out, where is this erased history that we don't have? Well, they had to deprogram us to break us down to make us illiterate and then rewrite everything.
Right. And it's called, again, whitewashing. And again, we don't have time for it, but this new term everybody got now, CTR, critical race theory. CRT, critical race theory. That's what everybody's talking about now.
Colonists, hello colonists.
Yeah, they just take everything out. So
what is that?
Critical race theory?
Yeah.
They're trying to teach that they're deciding what to teach, basically. And they're wanting to remove it. Some people want to remove it from schools, and some want to add it. But they basically attached it to the Democratic and Republican Party. And then
so
some people from left wings and liberals are getting involved, like, no, we need to do critical race theory, or we don't need to do it because critical race theory is going to teach the real history of our country. But it's not, because like you said, it's whitewashed ideas. Yeah. And so it won't. But people are doing the research, and again, we talk about stuff like this when we're not online, just us in general. Yeah. But a lot of people not having these type conversations. They've been whitewashed, and they refuse to get a deeper understanding of what it really entails. They rather just stay whitewashed.
That's right though, because I didn't watch Malcolm X till I was 24. Mm-hmm. I didn't get an understanding of slavery until I was in my 20s, and that's sad. Like, why wasn't I taught this? Why didn't I understand that it was actually a big gap and a separation from it? Why was I this loving person to be like, oh, we are equal when in actuality we wasn't? Why?
Right. We was taught to love Columbus. He discovered America. We had a song about it.
And
that
I
we
couldn't
sang.
figure out Pocahontas because Columbus came in Pocahontas. I used to watch that cartoon all the time. Like, how did he discover this if Pocahontas was already here? But I never said anything.
Brown indigenous people. Like they don't matter. Let's take this from them, and we're gonna claim it. But now, you about to see all of this shifting now because people understand their place in society.
Right.
Like, black is great, man.
And they got stones here in America that show that we spoke Hebrew as well.
Yeah, like all of that. So, do your research, get some knowledge, learn about it. Because integration was the worst thing that happened to black people. MLK, he took the cheese. They offered him, like, they told him that all this was gonna happen positive for black people, but they knew he was gullible, and they went ahead and pushed it on him, and he came. And again, when I was on y'all show, that's why I say we don't need black leaders.
They were heated about that conversation.
They don't direct us to the right way. Black leaders need to be like, if we gonna have a black leader, they need to just, and again, this gonna sound crazy, a strong black leader has to believe racism don't exist.
Yeah, because if you don't believe
You
racism
have to.
exists, you are able to navigate and do the things that
Absolutely.
supposed to be done. I
Absolutely.
understand that.
That's supposed to be done. And that's gonna get us to our last subject, which is,
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
I want you to pay attention to the man behind the curtain, and I'm pulling the curtain back on this one. Kyle Rittenhouse. All right, so many people, and I had to have conversations with people about this, like, oh man, I can't believe this. And I saw it so much on social media. He got off, and if this was a black man, and I'm like, stay out of this. This has nothing to do with us. And remember, me and you had the conversation
I did.
before the verdict even came out, because you was hot. You was like,
I was like, wait a minute, what is you talking about?
I'm like, no, I'm like, take race out of it. This man, if we look at the evidence, because all the media kept putting in there, oh, he crossed state lines. No, he didn't.
It goes to, they threw this out where he were underage. You weren't supposed to have the gun that you had underage.
Yes, that's not true.
That is true.
17 years old in Wisconsin, you can purchase this type of firearm. And what happened with him, he had the gun legally. It was not illegal that he had it. He purchased it. He was not across state lines. None of that. Even I was talking to one dude. He didn't even realize that he shot white people. That's just how people were so involved and paying attention to this case. You're not looking at the evidence. But the point I want to make on this, when I say pull back the curtain, and I asked this on Facebook, and I'm waiting for it to be flagged. It hadn't been flagged yet. But I said, the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict was over-publicized. Mm-hmm. The Darrell Brooks situation, you don't hear nothing about it. Now, let me tell you about the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, and you tell me why you think Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 people, killed 2, injured 1. They made sure they talked about, who he was shooting, what he was doing, the gun, crossing state lines. It was at a Black Lives Matter, peaceful. They put all of this stuff out there. Darrell Brooks, if you do the research on him, this guy's a 17-year career criminal. Raped a 15-year-old girl and impregnated her. Shot at his nephew over a cell phone. His ex got in an argument with her. She wanted to leave him. Chased her down and ran her over with the same car he ran through the parade with, because they found the tire tracks on her. Press charges on him. Assault in Atlanta. Assault in Fresno, California. Multiple assaults, drug charges, child support, all of that in Wisconsin. The media ain't talking about this. And he killed 6 people that included kids and injured over 60. Why is the media not talking about this the same way they talked about this Kyle Rittenhouse thing? Why you think?
Everything is propaganda.
But why? Why? These two black people got so involved and so angry with the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, they was paying more attention to whether he was going to get off than white people were.
Yeah.
Why? That had nothing to do with us, but why? Why were they so
Because
invested?
they were invested. They know if we do this, go after this, since it's in the media, our voice is going to get heard by more people. This incident is not covering the media. And take it, the man was black, right?
Yeah.
Why would our people speak on that? And then they don't want to highlight that because they...
But that goes back to what I said. If we're going to have a black leader, you can't believe in racism. Because at the end of the day,
everybody has
Kyle Rittenhouse, the 2 people he killed, one dude had got out of jail just recently for raping underage boys.
But
Just recently got out of jail for that.
that goes back to say, like, people that get killed, I don't understand why they talk about their past. That's just like, just because I had a bad past, you don't know what I don't repent or what happened. Why are you talking about my past?
Exactly. But they didn't talk. Kyle Rittenhouse had no prior record. They talked about everything else that was happening with these people trying to validate, and then our president, they president,
United States
yeah,
president.
the United States president, he's talking about like, oh yeah, you know, he kind of wanted to put that Kyle Rittenhouse was a white supremacist. If somebody came and somebody asked me, they said, well, if a black man did that, he would have got, he didn't do it. So we can't say, we're talking about what if. We're saying what if. What I'm saying is, if someone came to your neighborhood, if somebody came here right now and said, oh, they rioting outside, we about to come in here and burn the gym down. Are we just gonna sit here and be like, oh, okay? No.
And I had that conversation with you too. You're not going to do that, but you're not going to go outside and feel like you need to kill people. You're going to stay in here and protect whatever's inside. He went literally there with the rifle when he could have stayed in his dad's house.
He could have. But again,
are you going to go outside? Are you going to go outside and...
Absolutely.
You're going to
I'm
go outside?
standing on it. And this, if you come in this parking lot, rioting,
You're going to go outside.
I'm not staying in here. I'm going to the fire. Because if I stay in here, you could just come in here
If
and
it was a
rummage and
white
do whatever.
supremacist riot outside, you're going to go outside, right? If it's a Black Lives Matter protest outside, you're not going to go outside with your rifle. You're not going to do that. You're not going to go outside with your pistol. If it's a white supremacist riding outside, then I get it. Just like,
But you said the right thing. If there's a Black Lives Matter protest, who attacked him? Was it black folks?
no, it wasn't.
Absolutely, it was not black people.
But they were out there at a Black Lives protest. Whether it was white people, if it was black people out there with the white supremacist protest.
But we keep saying if. We gotta look at the facts.
But you brought up a scenario. That's why I'm just going into the scenario.
But this is a scenario. What we're talking about is an incident that has happened. So there's no if. These are the facts that happened.
So if it was a Black Lives Matter outside of the gym,
okay,
you would not go out there with your gun.
but again, this is a scenario. We're talking about a factual event that happened. This was a Black Lives Matter protest over the verdict, the Jacob Blake verdict that happened, and they were out there peacefully protesting. The white folks, the ones turned up. And so Kyle was like, not today. Kyle, listen, Kyle was not out there discriminating
Kyle
and
said
saying,
what?
okay, y'all can come and y'all just do whatever. That's why people are not looking at the facts.
Kyle
If this
said
guy
that
was a
today?
racist, he'd have been like, oh, okay, cool. No, Kyle, like, y'all not gonna tell my dad's town. He took that joint personal. But again, it's a deeper issue that goes back to real spill, that it's a lack of men want to step up and do the right thing. A 17-year-old felt like he needed to take matters into his own hands because ain't no men around who want to step up and do something. Same thing when you see a woman get beat up and like that old woman who got beat up on the subway and men just stood around. Like, come on, man.
What'd
Hey,
she do?
It was an old woman. The dude just beat her up. Like, beat her to pieces.
Oh, I gotta see that.
Yeah, men just stood around like they ain't do nothing. But yo, the Darrell Brooks thing, man, y'all better look into that. They pushing that agenda. They want to start a race war. Kyle Rittenhouse was not being racist with what he did. They tried to tie it back to Donald Trump, which Donald Trump had nothing to do with this. Like, they tried to tie it back to him. Meanwhile, this guy hops in a 94 Ford Escape and goes barreling through traffic, kills 6 people, injures over 60, and you don't hear nothing else about it. Ain't even on the main page of CNN, Fox News, none of that. There's a reason why.
And why the Maxwell case? What is it? The what's the other one? The Maxwell case. Start with a G. What's the name?
Maxwell.
I'm gonna have to pull that up for you. Why that case ain't being broadcast to?
What she do?
It's not a he. I mean, it's not she.
What he do?
All the sex trafficking at the Gilligan Island. I don't know. What is it? I'm gonna have to pull it up so I can tell you about it.
We gotta talk about that thing. But yo, so we gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. We done went 1 hour and 20. There was some great banter. We wanted to bring y'all in on how we talk offline. I appreciate you coming through. Make sure that you follow her podcast, Real Fantasy Podcast, on all major podcast streaming networks. Go check out her music, Victoria Rose, on all major platforms. Check that out. Tell them where they can follow you at.
Follow me at Victoria_Rose_Mega on Instagram.
Yeah.
Victoria Rose_Mega at Facebook. Real Fantasy Podcast on Instagram. You can follow me on TikTok. All names the same. Real Fantasy Podcast on TikTok as well. And make sure y'all stay in tune.
And
Stay
just
ready.
make sure y'all just follow. Call and play about her. You know what I'm saying?
You better
Just
talk that
follow.
shit,
Don't
Daddy.
be in no other stuff. But yo, like I always tell y'all, energy is real, but everybody does not possess real energy. So make sure you watching who you around. Make sure you watch who you let get close to you. Because it's a real thing. And we want everybody to be as prosperous as possible. So until next time.
Sit down, you gotta stand on it. If it's for certain, let's have a round, you gotta stand on it. Open the curtain, it's going down, you gotta stand on it. Cause I put my stamp on it, so you gotta stand. You gotta stand on it. 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 You gotta stand.